Hi, GenderBlenders. Welcome to Week 49. This week's topic is, what is your opinion on conforming to certain gendered mannerisms? How far is too far? Do you agree with changing them before or after transition, or not at all? What about just being you? Interesting topics. Mannerisms are there to help us, I think. They also allow us to be able to pass easier. A mannerism, of course, is a distinctive behavioral trait. It's an expected style, habit. It's things that we do that make us us. Some of those are gender specific. Some of those are us specific. And the ones that are gender specific can actually help us pass. Always a good thing from, I think, all of our standpoints. Can help our own view of ourselves. If we act and know that we act in the way that we like, that can help us improve our own self-image. It can, on the other hand, remove your own individuality if you fall into the stereotypes of the various mannerisms. Mannerisms can make it easier on yourself. It can help you with allowing people to accept you easier as you are, as you want to be. Certainly some gender-specific mannerisms are stereotypes. Giggling, crying, hugging, close stance, swaying the hips when you walk, batting the eyes, farting in cars. That's an interesting topic. Now, farting is the French putting on makeup in cars. And that's a mannerism. I know I've caught myself doing it. Loud language, spitting on the ground, wide stance, challenging, body noises. Maybe those are more guy-specific. So what do I mean by that? Oh, let me give you a good example. You guys know I go to Disneyland every weekend. And this, by the way, is one of my mannerisms. Sorry. And, in my old obsolete self, you'd never catch me on any of the wilder rides. I just didn't enjoy them. My health wasn't good enough to tolerate them, for one. And they just weren't for me. But as a girl, I get to yell and scream on those rides, and boy, is that fun. And I go on all of the rides now. Actually, I can sort of outdo my son in a lot of those. But that's an example of a mannerism that I knew was gender specific, and I adopted, and hey, what do you know? It's fun. Removing obsolete mannerisms. Your stance, your gait, coughing, sneezing. Those things can hurt you. So some of those are examples of maybe some mannerisms you want to remove as being obsolete. Do they make you any less you? I think the ones that I just cited really don't. That's my opinion, of course. Some mannerisms do make you you. I described a couple of them, and you see me doing some of them. Do you change your mannerisms, or you specifically look for them before or after or during transition? I think a lot of this happens naturally during transition. We want to be our new self, and that means that we change a little bit inside. So our self isn't what it used to be. A good example of that is, I used to have really, really terrible, awful handwriting. And I happen to notice that as a girl, my handwriting is really beautiful. And it's changed so much that I really have trouble forging my own signature. So I have to kind of change all my bank account stuff and things like that anyway. So that will be my new signature as well. Some mannerisms before, during, or after, some you experiment with. And you either discard or accept those. Remember, in some sense, and to me it's driven home a lot more because I'm kind of a little on the older side. And it's driven home a little bit more. But going through this transition, one of the things that I balance is the fact that I'm going through puberty. So in one sense, I'm a teenager. And just like any teenager, I have to experiment with some things that work for me and some things that don't work for me. Hair, face, makeup, nails, what I wear. Some of those will be incorporated into mannerisms that I use forever. Some of them I'll discard because they just don't work for me. But I'm experimenting with them. And that's another set of mannerisms that you do. You experiment with them. Some you unlearn. The way you talk, vocal things are very manneristic. My accent, West Coast accent kind of a thing, is a mannerism. And that's something I almost can't help, actually. You get immersed and that's the way it is. But some you learn. When I walk kind of like a girl does. Not with the wide stance of a guy. When I'm standing there, I don't stand with a wide stance. I stand with my feet together. But that's something you have to unlearn to some extent. Speaking this way is becoming more natural for me. When I first started transition, my female voice was terrible. And it's getting better. It's not great now. My humble opinion, it's not very great. But it's getting better. But it's a mannerism. It's something that I'm learning to do. What about being you? About being you is always a good policy. Be yourself. Because you're going to be way more happy when you're yourself than you are trying to be someone else. Accept those mannerisms that you like. Those that help you. Don't worry too much about it initially. Concentrate on those couple of things that you want to change. Develop them until they become second nature for you, until they become part of you. They are now your mannerism. And then move on. Add anything that you want over a period of time. You see, that's a mannerism too, that because my hair is a lot longer than it was, it's still got a ways to go, but it's a lot longer than it was. But that is a mannerism that I've developed. But those are mannerisms. What about just being you? Of course, be you. Gender-specific mannerisms? I think you're going to adopt some of them. I think you're going to reject some of them. But that's part of you being you. So I hope this has helped. Anyway, this is Steffi. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you next week on GenderBlenders. Bye, everyone.